Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our viewers on SpeedGaming 3. Welcome to the bracket stage of the Zelda 1 Randomizer Rookie Rumble here in 2023. Game 1 of this matchup between number 8-seeded opnopoint and number 25 seed Stags28. Moonrisen Phoenix here bringing you this matchup, and joining me in the booth, we've got another playoff contender here, number 10-seeded Lorgon. Good evening.
Hello, and welcome everybody. We're finally here in the bracket stages. We've qualified out of the group rounds. We've whittled the field down from 48 down to 32. And now this week we'll start doing these best of 3 matchups. And this one should be a good one. Stags, despite being a much lower seed, came out of an extremely tough group. So this is going to be fun.
Not only an extremely tough group, but absolutely dominated the field in the last chance qualifier, finishing first there by over 8 minutes.
Indeed. It was really kind of a commanding lead over that field and what turned out to be a very difficult seed for the last chance qualifier. But it looks like we are starting things off. And just like an earlier race that people might have been watching, we are starting off near the grave.
Near the grave of all places. That's an interesting start point. Going to get rid of the outlier feat of strength check at the grave.
Indeed. It also means players are unlikely to ever have to try to go northwest-southwest through the Lost Woods. And it also means if people take a death in the overworld, it could be pretty painful unless we find some good any roads. But at least to ease that pain, the runners get a very nice medium secret to start things off. 39 is almost the maximum.
One off the maximum, actually, as opnopoint and Stags will both go to vanilla 1Q6. And cheat key should be an interesting one there.
So yeah, it's rare to kind of like start at this particular screen on the map, and so both of our runners are choosing to go up here to the Grave Armos area. First up, obviously checking those Armos spots in addition to just trying to find the open caves to get the wood sword. Gotta be some of your top priorities because it's always good to get a free item. But in this case, the Armos up here is just going to lead to a stairway in another cave. We'll see what we got.
Opno's going to be first in. Another secret. Small of 50.
So the money's looking pretty good so far. We'll see what the large turns out to be, but that always bodes well when you have a little bit of extra cushion.
Fortunately, the troll toll gets involved, and what a toll! Maximum of 25.
Well, that kind of negates the other good bit. And so now we're back to like average money until we see the large secret, perhaps. Or perhaps the runners will do a bit of save scumming and try to avoid some of the door repair charges or go bankrupt when they run into them.
Tough depth there.
That hurts when you're just a couple of pixels away from being able to step into it, but that's why they call it Death Armos. You're likely to die.
Absolutely. And Opno deciding to take much the same road as Stags is. We're headed into the Dead Woods.
But yeah, it's always nice to all of a sudden see a little bit of divergence from the runners, checking 2 different open caves. $53 is not a bad price for a candle. One more medium secret, and that'll be something that could be picked up early for purchase, rather than having to use a take any.
Stags running into more trouble heading up the Death Armos. We've got Lionel's lying around.
Living up to its name today.
And then some. And not only that, but you'll notice something a little painful. If our runners didn't stumble onto that massive door repair, we might be seeing blue candles already.
That's a good point. Yeah, 25 is a significant chunk every time you just randomly run into a cave and lose that money. And oh, opnopoint is just pixels away from getting in there again. This time with the knowledge of which Armos to hit.
And then Octorok said, "Nah, you're going back again."
Seems like the only winner thus far is chat.
Stags giving us a look at the river. Meanwhile, meet the moblin near the desert. That's a magical sword hint right there.
Desert is pretty far from their start screen. There is one open cave over there, and also a burn bush and a bomb spot and a power bracelet spot, so we'll see where Mag ends up. But that'll be a long ways away yet with our runners just at 3 hearts here at the beginning.
Attempt number 3 for opnopoint over at the Death Armos. Let's see what happens this time. Oh, he's got it for sure.
All that for 15 rupees.
Triple nickels. Not what he wanted to see, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, if he finds one more small now, he could buy that candle, and that would be a game changer at this moment in time.
One place that there is such a thing is northwest of Vanilla Start. Stags found that one earlier.
And speaking of Stags, he's now headed over to 1Q1. We'll dodge some Octoroks and then head inside a big tree and discover... Okay, now he's got 83 rupees. However, I don't remember if he checked 1Q3 and actually saw the candle shop down there.
I think he might have, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Meanwhile, Opno's going to get his chance at the candle right now.
So yeah, from Opto's point of view, I'm only like 3 or 4 screens away from that candle. I'd just like immediately go ahead and head right back there. It's so valuable to get the candle. Admittedly, slightly less given their starting screen, because there's many more candle checks in the forest, but there's a few in the Deadwoods. And just all those extra checks almost always means you're going to net at least 1 Take Any Heart, which could help you get the White Sword earlier in the match.
Absolutely, and look at that. Both of our runners practically footsteps behind each other. They're heading for candles. Can't argue with this play in the slightest. We're headed to burn down the dead woods. Let's see what we get there.
So many you must pay the troll tolls.
Stags might be having some early words with the seed after that LCQ challenge.
Just got a money-making game over in the very southwest corner. Not enough money to even ante up.
Our first potion shop of the day. However, we're not going to be able to see the prices just yet.
It'll be really interesting to see which of our runners manages to get a bomb drop first. There are a number of bomb droppers around that will be killable with the blue candle, and we've already seen an attempt or two. But the first bomb can really open things up as well, because one runner might get it and the other might not, and could really start making the routes diverge in terms of what they get and what they find.
That's absolutely right. However, we're going to see our first checks on Candle Row coming up. Meanwhile, Stags finds our first Any Road of the day. Monocle Rock. And perhaps an Armos item very shortly.
Meanwhile, Opno finds Dungeon 8 in the middle of Candle Row. Does get a free bomb hole since he had just come from the west. And it looks like that's going to be a Darknet dungeon.
I mean, level 8 already is not one I'd get excited over, especially not seeing that.
It's nice to take those peeks, though. Now you know what the enemy set is. You know that you might be bow and arrow block there, and so that can be information you can use to decide to perhaps dive this dungeon much, much later. Oh, there's an any road right near the start.
Oh goodness. This could be interesting.
But the other 3 any roads are all right in that little section of the forest, it looks like.
Indeed.
So that's actually still pretty good on this seed.
Now here's something Stags might have realized. The Armos item is going to be under the Lost Hills Armos, as we'll find our first taking me of the day.
Since our runners already have candles, they can immediately go for the hearts. It's going to make it earlier chances to get those white and possibly magical swords.
Meanwhile, we'll also see our bomb prices. 15% discount, 17 rupees. Not too bad, right?
Yeah, not bad. I'm not unhappy about that, if I'm one of these runners. And it looks like Stags is going to be the first to witness the coast item momentarily, after discovering another bomb shop over here.
We've got the traditional heart container, I see.
Lots of hearts in the shuffle, given that heart shuffle is on. 9 of them could go there, in addition to all the other items, and so it's the most common thing.
Second dungeon found, and lo and behold, it's level 2, just west of Vanilla Start.
Possible ladder and dig dogger block right at the beginning of that dungeon. Awesome. And I think I saw a like, which means that this is going to be a Wizrobe dungeon.
Oh, that's painful without a sword.
But it is Dungeon 2, which means there could be a good item or two just lying around on the floor, so I don't mind the fact that Opno is going to spend a little time here just to see if he can pick up any free goodies. Looks like Stags might do the same.
So for our viewers unfamiliar with the tournament setting, it is a best 2 out of 3 on this matchup. This is the first round, and we've got a map check.
That looks like a microscope. We get those somewhat frequently, but that's a pretty good one.
Not going to complain about that one.
And yeah, I guess people have been pointing out, you included, that Stags should know that the Armos item has to be the Lost Hills one. I would really want to jet up there. It's a free item.
Oh, have you seen the info that Opno just got?
I was not paying attention. What did the old man say?
As our tracker just indicated, Gleeok returns with the bow. The bow's in level 8. Stags picks up a very quick Triforce.
And we saw a Goma in level 8. And so if you have that information, you know you need to go left rather than north at the start of the dungeon, alright? Look, there's a Triforce. Not too hard to get. The large secret is 101. So, it's turning into an average money seed, basically.
Right down the middle. Opnopoint tying up the Triforce game. 1 Triforce apiece, pick up at level 2.
Stags is already up to 5 hearts. If he encounters the white sword on the overworld somewhere, he'll be pretty happy about his chances to lift it. 4 to 6 hearts in Rando. But it looks like Stags is now also going to do the candle row checks. So meanwhile, Opnopoint is cleaning up some of the area near start that Stags has already seen.
Now, it was a nearly immediate Triforce grab for Stags here in 3. Opno not looking like he's going to... Oh, wow, the raft 1.
And there's a raft check right outside. Just a few screens away.
Oh, goodness. If that raft turns out to be anything, that could be early trouble for Stags.
Stags also learns about the Goma and bounces out of Dungeon 8. It's going to continue burning the rest of Candle Row, and then perhaps check Desert Cave, which I'm not sure if we've seen. Stags also choosing to buy some more bombs. And this is interesting. He's going to spend 17 for just 2 more bombs to get all the way topped off at 8 bombs.
I can see the point there. No dice for Opno on that room. What's next? I'd happily clear that, but looks like Opno's saying not quite.
Opno going to go ahead and grab this Triforce number 3 as well.
With the raft in tow, I wonder if it's crossing his mind that to check that spot, but not just yet. He's got more burning to do.
Yeah, it seems like he can check at least a couple of forest spots and still circle around the raft without losing much time, or perhaps just this one. Perhaps he just thought of the fact that, hey, I have a possible advantage against my opponent, let's go press that advantage, which I think is a good strategy, especially in a head-to-head.
Absolutely is, and we'll have our first raft check. Let's see if we've got firewood or if it's actually necessary.
And meanwhile, we're going to witness the Armos item on Stag's side in just a moment. It's a heart container. And it's also a heart container inside the Take Any cave.
If I'm Opno seeing that, I'm smiling.
Yep, he's up to 5 hearts now. Stags has just gone up to 6. And so I think it's extremely likely that both our runners will be able to pick up the white sword by the time they locate it.
Is it up here in the Lost Hills? Nope, not just yet. Oh my goodness, look at those hint
very
prices.
Cheap hints. I don't really like buying the hints, but even I would buy them at those prices. Wow. 12, 12, 21.
That is some of the cheapest hints I've ever seen.
That's a total of 45 for 3 hints. That's just incredible.
And there's your money for those hints. Large secret at Letter Mountain.
That said, with Stag's money, I would be definitely starting to think about Blue Ring possibilities. One more medium secret and I'll practically be there.
Forgotten spot can stay forgotten today. Now there's a potential of the blue ring rolling low enough that Stags could pick it up. But instead it's a ladder in Casino Corner.
Have we only seen 2, 3, and 8 so far?
I believe so, considering the amount of overworld.
Yeah, we've covered like more than half the overworld, it feels like, and so there's 6 dungeons still unaccounted for. I'm thinking there's going to be a fair bit up in Death Mountain.
Either that or blocked.
That's a possibility too. Be interesting to see how this plays out.
Well, there's another level in Seaside. It's level 7.
Patra! At least it's the good kind.
Opno, meanwhile, stumbling upon a pair of door repairs in the forest. Make that 3 in a row.
I'm curious to see where Stags is going to choose to go next. Looks like Opno is going to give us our first check at the South Coast.
I think Opno's going to be thinking about that right side. There's that white sword, and it's 6 hearts.
Oh, wow! And Stags is now headed down in the same direction and has the bombs to get it.
Oh,
and so I think Stags is going to get the white sword, and unless this is a take any for Opno, it's going to be much... Oh, it's level 5. There's a chance he could find a heart in here, too. But this looks like it's about to be a big early advantage for Stags.
Considering the location of the wooden sword is probably up in Death Mountain. I dare say you're right there. That's 6 rupees left on the floor for Stags, or very close to that number. He ain't gonna care about those rupees now.
Indeed. White sword for Stags28 puts him firmly in the driver's seat, at least for the moment. He can now choose to do things.
Level 5. Goodness, Opno was just in here but had to duck out due to the lack of weapons. Stags is just bring it on. Let's go. Now the question is, can Stags parlay that early white sword into an advantage?
Well, with a Dig Dogger and a key block early in this dungeon, it's looking slightly less likely than it did moments ago. And that's an unfortunate place of his last bomb. Oh, but he manages to finagle a free bomb hole over here.
Oh my goodness. Alert, alert. Raft required east. Raft spots got level 4.
That is pretty interesting. Stags. Oh, wow. And level 4 just has the magic boomerang lying right at the start. It's information, at least. Not an item that a lot of runners take, and Opno chooses to leave it behind. It's another Wizrobe dungeon.
I mean, I know a few runners that love that item, including a certain tournament champion.
It's true. I guess it's among the most contentious of items in terms of love and hate.
Yeah, definitely.
Stags has 0 bombs and is headed up to Death Mountain. There are some bomb droppers here, but this seems like a little bit of a curious play to me right at the moment. And Opno not choosing to explore the any roads fully.
I mean, if one of the any roads leads into a section you'd like to explore quickly.
Yeah, just opening them up just because one is so close to their start screen. Like, it's just a useful way to quickly warp from the west half of the map to the east. Oh, but there's Opno's 6 heart. So now we can go back and get the white sword.
Yeah.
And he's close enough, I think he's just going to beeline back there.
Wouldn't be surprised.
That said, this is like 2 minutes of walking or something that Stags will not have had to do. Meanwhile, Stags did manage to get some bombs up here on Death Mountain. It'll be a little bit disappointing, I guess, if he ends up finding the wood sword up here. But I guess it also means that, like, hey, your opponent was going to have a tough time. And there's the blue ring!
So much for that disappointment, huh?
Indeed. It was all worth it. And so, yeah, that might have been the first blue ring shop. Opno does pick up his white sword. And so perhaps that's the reason Stags was choosing to go up here. He had all this money, and he was like, I want to spend it. I'm going to look and look and look until I find a shop.
Well, now he's got all the money, and the door repair salesman took all the rest.
That's fine when the rest is hardly any. So Opno's sword in hand now is going to more intentionally explore the rest of the overworld, or explore the rest of the any roads, and then I guess clear out the rest of the northeast that I can't remember if Opno's seen.
I believe Opno's seen the northeast. Now, Stags, rather, he's heading for Western Death Mountain. He wants to clear the entire spot.
Opno picks up the Armos heart. That's going to bring him up to 7. And Stags is now checking out, yeah, like you said, West Death Mountain.
As a second door repair, Stags can just tilt his head in. Money? What's that? Interesting. Stags into level 1 as Opno finds level 7. This is a high chance of being an item here.
Indeed. Yeah, this immediate stare. It's pretty nice. He's going to try to clip into it rather than spend the time to kill the bats. I guess this room can't drop in Dungeon 1, but I would still just go ahead and kill them. And he does.
Opno kills the Patra, finds a transport. Meanwhile, Stags finds an item. It's the recorder in 1.
That is handy. Dungeon 3 is dead center of the map, like just north of Vanilla Start, and so that's already one place that he can warp to. That's pretty convenient. Not to mention all the dig doggers we've already seen in this particular seed.
And let's not forget that raft that Stags hasn't picked up, which is required.
So now both of our runners have a potentially unblocking item that the other one might need.
There's a potential problem, though. Those Pole's Voice and Dark Nuts. Opno finding the Power Bracelet in level 7. Oof.
That's a big one, considering how many dungeons are still missing. It does seem somewhat likely that there could be a dungeon that is Power Bracelet blocked in the seed, so that might be a necessary item. Stags in his first room that's really going to test his metal somewhat. Not having a lot of luck managing to land bombs on the versus the blue Dark Nuts. The Pole's Voice aren't making the room too easy either.
Nice bomb placement and a clutch fairy.
That helps Stags finish off the difficult room. Meanwhile, Opno's got a difficult room of his own. Manhandla. Oh my goodness, it's the red ring on the floor. By killing that one room, Stags has just doubled his armor again. He is now nigh invincible.
So it's always we joke about it all the time. You have to bite a blue ring to spawn the red one.
Oh, and look at this! The silver's on the floor in 7 for opnopoint. I might clear out this last room over here and just bounce out of this dungeon and come back later, but he's strong enough that he might just go ahead and continue on to get the Triforce.
Yeah, I mean, you'd get out of 7, which is a huge pain in the neck.
Stags finds what I believe is the final take any as far as our eyes in the seed up here in Death Mountain.
Opnopoint may not have a ring, but if I'm Opno right now, I'm feeling pretty comfy.
Now, I didn't see why Stags chose to leave Dungeon 1. Was he key blocked?
It was absolutely key block. Bomb upgrade found at 99 rupees. It's a big plus 6.
I love buying the bomb upgrade. It's so good.
Speaking of so good, look at level 9. Northwest corner, practically.
My goodness. Well, fortunately, Dungeon 1 is not too far away. And so, after Stags gets a Triforce out of it, at some point in the future, he'd be able to record her back to it. Not having the keys right now, yeah, is going to make things a little bit more problematic. Meanwhile, Opno's sitting on 4 keys.
That's an interesting position for Triforce at 7.
Yeah, that's a really useful compass to find, though. Opno is going to get all 3 items out of this Dungeon 7, and I think there's still like half the rooms he's never been in.
Yep, that's right. And goodness, that's about as free as you can get there. That's it for Opno in 7.
That's a good dungeon. He's got to be feeling good about that.
Absolutely. 28 minutes in, you've got Power Bracelet, you've got White Sword. You know level 3's Raft Block. You have another big potential...
And he's got the silvers, yeah.
Yeah, oh, you gotta love it.
Stag's using that recorder to get back to Dungeon 3 and is rediving it, so it looks like he's going to discover his raft in about 3 seconds. I was wrong about what room it was in.
It was just to the left there.
If I get a time machine, I'll go back in time and revise it to say, it's going to discover that fiver in about 3 seconds.
Opno, meanwhile, checking out the northeast corner. My apologies.
Potion price is pretty good. A red for 66, I'll take it.
That's about halfway on the roll, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess 68 is its vanilla price, and so yeah, it was way better than the 50 for the blue, so felt like a better deal. It's like when they sell, like at the concessions, and it's like, the medium Coke is, $4, and the large one is $4.50, and it's like, oh man, the large is such a great deal.
Kind of is. But there's the wrap for Stags.
So that is one minor advantage nullified that Opno previously had over Stags. But Stags, once again, is going to encounter another key door and has to make choices.
Okay, we found another information on another item that Stags passed up on. That is a red ring in 1 that we knew of, and the red candle in 5 that we did not.
That's useful information before you have dug that dungeon. It basically gives you a chance to possibly abort out of that dungeon even more quickly and save yourself some time.
Have we seen 1Q5 yet? Oh, goodness. Of all places for the wood sword to be.
Well, now we know. Neither of the runners really need to care about that location. We'll also get to take a look at our waterfall. Oh, wow! Dungeon 6 up at the top of the waterfall. It's got a locked door right in the entrance. And no free bomb hole. So it seems likely that this one is going to immediately require a key. Opno thinks twice but decides, okay, I've got 2 keys, I'm going in. And get some very useful information. There's a Chevy moat room. We have an immediate ladder block. Unless it bombs to the right, Opno is going to check. I agree with spending the bomb there for certain. Even if I only had 1 bomb, I think I would spend it, because I want to know for absolute certain, is Dungeon 6 ladder blocked? And the answer is yes, the ladder is required.
Meanwhile, Stags will find the other item in level 3. That is a staircase heart container.
And Stags is back into level 2. White Sword will make quick work of some of these Zols, especially when he can actually pull the sword out when he's not cursed by the bubbles. Gosh, I hate the bubbles.
At the very least, they're not the red ones.
That's true. None of those in this tournament with this flag set. Thank goodness. That's a convenient clock in the Wizrobe room, making these guys easy to finish off. Stags gets to top off his bombs, continue the dungeon. And he also learns the clue about the bow being in Dungeon 8.
I believe he's seen it as well. The dungeon, that is, not the bow.
Right, yeah. Up in the middle of Candle Row, yeah, he was the first, I think, to witness the Goma in there. The bow info is go, now we know. All right, the large secret was the bomb shop in the southwest corner. That's some extra money for opnopoint.
Still a fair distance away from that blue ring, but it isn't going to matter should he find level 1.
And with 8 bombs and headed up back towards Death Mountain, I think there's a fair chance.
You're right there.
Stags does grab Triforce number 2. Going back in to try to find a missing item. It's going to eventually find the map over here and learn about the microscope, but not in this direction. Maybe it will in this direction. Gets to kill Digdogger. Hey Digdogger, come over here.
Might take a little bit more time than he'd like, but when he's got nope, no item information there.
Opno's going to choose to do the east side of Death Mountain first. Stags gets that map and gets to witness the microscope now.
I don't believe Tilo found many... oh, what the heck? Tilo's not even in this race. Oh, boy. I don't believe opnopoint, my apologies, found both items here, too.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That's one for a scrapbook. Opnopoint now in level 1.
So we should expect the items to be evening out quickly here. Meanwhile, Stags is going to go finish off the last 7 rooms here in level 2. Except maybe that one. With the blue robes and the Chevy mode.
Oh, goodness, can you imagine if an item ends up being there?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It won't be the latter.
Thank goodness.
There is the recorder for Opno. You can now blow the tutor and get around the map pretty well. The ladder! It's in level 2!
Oh, goodness. Stags gets right back in the lead.
Our small number dungeons are really paying off for the runners in this seed. And so, assuming that Stags can pull the silver arrow out of 7, this could be very fast for him. Opno will be able to definitely find the level 2 in the ladder and this kind of stuff pretty early on as well. And he already has the silver arrow. So, alright, the other item in 2 is just a heart container, and Stags picks it up and he's out of here.
However, do you know Opno does have the Triforce in level 2? He won't get back there immediately.
True, but he can always whistle back, and at some point, like when he's missing an item, it seems like it would be the first dungeon he returns to, assuming he manages to clear out all of level 1 right now.
Here's the question. This is the red ring. Should Opno get this done, one of Stags' big advantages goes by the wayside.
Indeed, and it seems like Opno is pretty good at this game, so I think he's going to get this room done. This is one that it's mostly about patience. There's only 2 blue dark nuts, and you have the entire floor to work with.
Meanwhile, Stags into level 5. Opno gets it done, and that's a red ring. Take a moment to get... I can understand taking a moment just to, hey, that's a red ring, that's a huge help. And just refocus for half a second and just keep going.
Opno gets a key and immediately spends it in order to continue farther into level 1 than Stags was previously able to go because he was out of keys at that point and key blocked. Opno picks up another key and is able to continue further.
If only that worked, right?
Indeed. Stag's leaving a number of fivers behind on the ground. I always like getting those. I want to make sure I have money for a bomb upgrade when it comes my way.
That's a darn good point there. Looking like he wants to be done with this level as soon as he can with that extra heart container at the end there. I can't say I blame him.
Keys have been tight. If a runner gets the any key, that could actually be a significant advantage in this race, it looks like right now. Speaking of keys, Stags is finally back up to 1. Meanwhile, Opno is going to spend his only key because he seems pretty certain that the final item is over here. The item, of course, being the Triforce, which is a pretty good item. We're going to need that.
Yeah, we're going to need those Triforces. So Recorder, Red Ring, and a heart container in level 1. Stags might be in trouble despite the Red Ring. He's down to half a heart.
Getting out the blue candle, I like it. Be able to fight the key set range. Make sure you successfully stay alive to get to the staircase. No, Stags, don't do it! I might have commentator cursed him there. I'm sorry.
Happens. I do it all the time.
It was a heart container. One could say just a heart container, but that would have been the heart container that brought him to 10 and our first chance at possibly being able to lift mags, which I don't believe we've seen, but we got a hint about it was in the desert. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds...
That might be power bracelet blocked right by the force fairy there.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Oh, no, back in level 2. Last time Opno was here, he had just a blue candle to his name. Things have changed since.
Indeed, and I'm sure he'll be thrilled to discover the ladder. Stags is going to try to break logic for a moment here with no bow and arrow and peek into this staircase, which I guess is going to be a transport staircase here in 5. But the Goma fires repeatedly at you, and it makes it very hard to execute this clip. But he does it. Nice.
It's a transport, but you'll take it.
Yeah, he'd already seen that heart container in the basement and then died just short of it. Opno has been doing a great job of having just enough keys to stay alive in these dungeons. Stag's got blocked in Dungeon 1. It's going to have to do a double dip, and also since he doesn't have the Triforce, has a little bit of walking just to get back to Dungeon 1. So right now, I think with Opno about to grab the ladder, it seems like the advantage has switched over to his side for sure.
I'll agree with you there, Lorgan. Both of our runners are realizing that's not going to be anything good in that double bracket room. And was this the ladder room? Sure was.
Stags gets the Triforce out of Dungeon 5. There's one advantage he still holds over his opponent in this race.
Triforce count is not one of them. 3 Triforces for him, 4 to opnopoint. As looks like Opno's going to try and make a play for the bow in level 8.
Seems good. You've got the ladder, so you're unlikely to be blocked within the dungeon. Now let's see if he immediately goes left. Yeah. He knows there's a Goma up to the north. I don't think I've seen either runner purchase arrows. Can anyone confirm or deny? Oh, Stags has not Stags. Opno has the silver arrows. Duh.
Yeah, you're not going to see much of an arrow purchase for him. However, Stags is going to find the bad news about the raft being required.
Well, perhaps we'll get a full look at Dungeon 4. He does pick up the magical boomerang. Sees a lot of Wizrobes and decides, you know what? I wouldn't mind having some more bombs before I tackle these guys. Let's see if I can enlist the help of this Stadango, and goes from 4 to 6 bombs.
Nothing wrong with a bomb refill station, right?
Get out your candle for the fires. I think Stags might have pushed the block in that room like 3 different times. Alright, this room just has a shutter door. Push block. Not going to do a whole lot for you.
Oh, that's a big pickup for Opno and 8. That is a book.
Stags really doesn't want to go after that blue Wizrobe room. He's gone an entire circle in this dungeon, tried to bomb through a random wall, and he's like, alright, I guess I gotta do this. You got the red ring, you got a white sword. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd be willing.
Sure.
And he clears it out with relative aplomb. It did spend all the rest of his bombs, but he still got half his life, and now he can do the other half of the dungeon.
Meanwhile, level 8, Leox Central for opnopoint.
There is a key. It's going to possibly cost Stag his life, but I think it's worth it. Well, he escapes alive, still has 3 hearts. It's another boomerang.
Double
The
boomerang 4.
wooden boomerang in Dungeon 4. But at least Stags hopefully will be able to pull a Triforce out of here to make it all worth his time. Maybe.
If it's the orange Wizrobe, unfortunately, takes Stags down.
Opnopoint doing a good job to build up his key count. Dungeon 8 is often a good place to do it. It's so thick that there's often multiple ways to go from room to room, and so you can often walk around a key door, through some other doors, or through a bomb hole, and as a result be able to pick up keys without having to spend any.
Oh, this one's got a shutter. This won't be the push block Opno needs, but this might be.
And meanwhile, Stags is in a very important dungeon. He's back in Dungeon 7, which has the power bracelet and the silver arrows. Let's see if he can manage to pull both of them out of here before he leaves.
Push block, just to transport.
Stag spends 2 keys and gets the Triforce immediately, and so now this is going to be a critical decision.
He does need to go back. It's level 7, but at the same time... Oh, he's out!
He's got the recorder. He knows he can come back later when he needs to, and so looks like he is going to go to greener pastures for the moment. We'll see which pastures those are. He also knows that the bow is in Dungeon 8, I believe, and can't decide if I should go left or I should go right if I want to go there. They're both about equal. Oh, he's going to make the raft check. I like that. He's going to get another Take Any Heart. This is going to bring him up to 11. And I can't recall if he has seen this hint about where Mags is, but he doesn't have the power bracelet yet, so it's not going to really apply to him.
Reckon Opno's got something against Gleox?
I think a lot of people think they're fun to fight. That's a good use of the candle boost right there by Opno. Just to help push through those enemies and get down to this basement, which does have the bow. He's also pulled the book out of this dungeon, but that's the important item. At this point, Triforce and go.
Absolutely. And that'll be Triforce 7 and 8 for Opno. The two biggest dungeons, more than likely today. That bow was buried. Opno's got, not Opno, but Stags rather has quite the dig in front of him.
Choosing to spend the key needlessly. There was an open doorway the other direction. That could come to bite him.
Triforce for opnopoint in 8. That is 5 on the board.
So I guess Dungeon 6 is our mystery dungeon that we still have not yet located, is that correct?
We've seen 4, we've definitely seen 5. You're right, 6 is the only one left.
Seems somewhat likely to be power bracelet blocked. I can't recall if anyone has checked Recorder Lake yet either. It's right by their start screen. Opno buying a key.
I like to play. You know, keys have been... monsters have been rather stingy with those keys.
If you liked it once, you're going to double like it the second time. 2 more keys for Opno, he's up to 5.
Not arguing that in the slightest. Stags going the wrong way to pick up the bow in 8, but picks up the Triforce for 5.
Opno with the book, which is an atlas, immediately has the map of this Dungeon 5. I don't know what that is.
Some kind of seahorse, maybe?
I was kind of thinking that too. The tail definitely seems kind of right, but then it's like got arms and something's wrong with his head, so I don't know.
I'm just gonna go with a certain Disney IP and leave it at that. Chat, thinking the same thing there.
I think I just saw a red candle on the floor of 5 for Opno.
Yep.
We knew that that was coming due to the hint.
And I think at least some of us saw the fact that he was gonna leave it there coming. Speaking of leaving things there, this room can just, not exist.
Opno, of course, is already in Triforce and Go mode, and so he is headed directly to where the compass told him to go. And there it is, Triforce 5.
That's a 6-5 lead.
Stag's getting low fighting this Gleeok. The red ring will only let you face tank so much. Has to drink a potion. But that's good. We need to get the items out of here. Good use.
Looks like Opno's heading back to level 4, one of the 2 Triforces he's got left to find.
Indeed, and then we'll finally get to see the overworld search for Dungeon 6. I'm gonna guess the power bracelet spot near Vanilla Start.
I'm gonna go and guess recordedly. We haven't seen that one yet.
Stags kills off another Gleeok. Doing some decent combat here. And some other rooms in 8, but not quite in the right direction. Some really good blue Wizrobe combat by opnopoint here. Hardly taking any damage, dealing lots of damage, just focusing on one Wizrobe at a time, staying on the half tiles. Really clean.
Actually, a point to make right here, Lorgon. That hit right there, we've seen level 6. We just haven't seen much of it.
It was in the southwest, wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
It was in the waterfall.
Oh.
Shoutouts to our tracker, Chaos Finale, for keeping us updated on that. Goodness, I'd completely forgotten we'd seen it as well. So this is, I mean, I always say it. Trackers are MVPs.
Yep.
My goodness, Chaos, props.
Opno doing the work to dig this 4. He's going to just completely skip this single block push room because he just needs a Triforce. We'll grab the key, however.
Yes, 6 with that opening ladder block. My goodness,
I don't know how Stags has done it, but he's managed to run a full circle. Retrace some of his steps again.
There's a Triforce.
Chat's saying he got locked out of his path. Sometimes the shutters close behind you and you're just out of luck.
Yeah. Been there, definitely. I'm going to be heading to the waterfall shortly for his final Triforce of the day, then going to head up into northwestern Dead Mountain for the final level of the day. So a quick piece of information for you viewers. This is day 1 of round 1 of brackets. Plenty more action to come tonight.
And all throughout the week. We've got 32 runners, so we've got 16 pairings. They're best of 3. So it'll be at least 2 matches out of each of them. So that'll be somewhere between 32 and 48 matches. Not all of them will be aired, of course. But there will be a lot of Zelda action on the various networks.
Goodness, take a look at that 6.
That's something special.
Oh, is it ever? Triple segmented there was a crime against cookies this day, and whoever Ganon should be punished for this map.
Opno's making sure not to orphan any rooms, leave behind rooms that might have his Triforce. This one, unfortunately, just gonna shutter him in for a little bit of extra time wasting.
Well, it did have a key. He's not going to say no about a key, and Stags definitely doesn't say no about that bow.
Indeed. Stags, we believe, has not yet purchased arrows. He has 73 money, and I think it did start with a 7, the arrow price, but I don't remember for certain. Oh, but that's a real quick Triforce 6 for Opno.
That's a
He
ticket.
will be headed into 9 just over an hour into this race.
Oh,
Stags has a lot of time he'll need to make up.
9 needs to do a lot of 9 things.
Well, whistling to Dungeon 1 will put Opno just a few screens away. So, I guess we can get ready to do all the things we need to do in 9. The roar, and the door, and the whatnot, and the etc.
There's an etc. I believe the roar and the door is all we need here. We've got silvers.
We'll be listening for the roar of Ganon in an adjacent room, and we'll try to find a shutter door that doesn't open even after killing the monsters in the room. It'll only open after Ganon goes down.
Oh. Darius set here in level 9. Probably exactly what Opno wanted to see.
He's got 36 arrows to his name. Needs to be a little bit careful about spending them, but it is pretty nice to be able to just machine gun some of your enemies with silvers. With 9 keys, he's still being choosy about the rooms he goes into. He knows that can't be Zelda, and it can't be Ganon because he didn't hear Ganon, so he's not going to go into any of these little one-off edge rooms. Some really good routing.
I'm not going to argue at all with that play. Oh, I thought for a moment that would be one of the hints here. Not quite.
Yeah, I always get excited when I see the room with the dark floor, and then sometimes it turns out just to be the empty enemy room. There's a heart container in Dungeon 9.
Opno wanted to see. He's going to have to earn a key, perhaps, to keep going. Or maybe... Oh. Get out of the way.
He drops the map. He doesn't need it because he's already got the book. Alright, he's up in the moose antlers portion of the dungeon.
You know, now that you mention it, that does look like a bit of a buffalo in my book, but... Hey. Well, what a way to kick off brackets, huh?
Oh, yeah. This ended up being, I mean, this is like the opposite of what Stags had in the LCQ. That was kind of a seed of torture that put many, many runners over 2 hours. And meanwhile, Opno here is just over an hour and already in Dungeon 9 looking for Ganon.
And he's still fairly comfortable with his key count.
Absolutely. With 8 keys here, I think I would basically spend them as though I had the any key. Stags also finds the Triforce in 6 very quickly. He doesn't know where his silvers are yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, if he makes the play that so many runners thought the silvers were in 9 in that LCQ. There were many runners with bad tastes in their mouths after that one. Ooh,
So that looked like Zelda's room over there, yes?
it really did.
So the third one from the bottom and column 9.
And that confirms it.
So if Stags manages to get in there and see that clue before the race is over, he'll know to turn around, but he won't know where to go.
Missed one, get the spare. No problem.
But yeah, since Stags doesn't know where to dive, he's continuing on in this Dungeon 6, and it's a Wizrobe dungeon, so it's a large dungeon with a difficult enemy set, so this is just going to be a giant time tax.
Well, this would have been a great hint to get like 5 minutes ago. And I believe we've got the Call of Bacon here.
Oh yeah.
Opno getting very close to finishing up this seed.
Stags discovers a heart container in the basement of 6. A minor disappointment.
For all he knows, Opno's probably in. He may be in the same spot that Opno is, but this may be just a case of ordering the seed.
Definitely. Not only did the dive of 7 net Opno some key items, namely the silver arrows, but the power bracelet could also be nice if you wanted to get the magical sword. But it also, I think, it gave him the key advantage he needed going into Dungeon 1 that allowed him to complete that dungeon in a single pass. So the early dive of 7 really paid off for Opno.
Absolutely right. Oh,
Shoot!
hey, what are you doing?
Ganon is behind you! Turn around!
Sort of. Time is starting to run low for Stags, however.
Yeah.
Should
He's just
Opno-
continuing to dive the 6.
Yep.
It's eating his keys. And more importantly, eating all of his time. 7's where he needs to be, but there's no way for him to know that.
Is it just me, or are we waiting for? Are we looking for this magic staircase to get at this point?
Seems like it. I haven't paid enough attention to Opno's side to be sure. That's a nice clip into the staircase there to quickly get in.
Meanwhile, Stags discovers redundancy.
And a painful shoot room. He's gonna up an A out of. Ain't nobody got time for that. Unfortunately, up an egg in this dungeon means you have to travel through 3 rooms and a staircase just to get back into the heart of it.
And that's one staircase ruled out for opnopoint.
Really feels like there's not much left of this dungeon. I think we're just a couple minutes away from seeing the back end of Opno's finish.
Let's see where this staircase goes. This has potential. This might be it. And there's the bomb hole. And at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 27 seconds, we've got our first Gantt sighting of the evening on opnopoint's side. Seven to 8 hits with that white sword. Take down Ganon or opnopoint with the Triforce of Power. And here's our stun lock.
And he knows the location of the girl. Just gotta go there.
With bacon in hand, it's time for breakfast. Now with Ganon down, you can just fire as many silver arrows as you want to enemies.
Stags exited 6. I didn't see if he got a item out of there, or if he just decided this was not working out in terms of his time. And now is re-entering Dungeon 7, which is where he needs to be, but it's going to be too little too late. Oh, he got the second heart, according to chat. Alright, great.
However, you're not wrong about time running out here. Opno is beelining it towards a win here in game number 1 of this best of 3 series. And there is your door. And get your GGs out, everybody, for your race winner here in game 1 of this best of 3 series. It is opnopoint with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 21 seconds.
That was really well run. Opno was very efficient, only defeating enemies in dungeon rooms that he needs to, skipping the rooms he doesn't need, and also just some really good combat, like the blue wizrobe combat that he had in that one room was really sharp.
Rookies? These guys? They give a lot of our veteran runners a run for their money, let me tell you.
Yeah, and the quality of the play is just going to get better and better as we go deeper and deeper into this tournament. It's pretty exciting.
For those of you watching, game 2 of the series will be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, in fact.
I won't be able to watch or comm that one because I'll be doing a race of my own.
That's right, you're racing tomorrow night at 9 p.m. versus Yumi, I believe.
That is correct. But for now, focused on this one. Stags is going to drink a potion. Check out these blue wizrobes. Ooh, again? I can't remember if he did this room before. There was another another blue wizrobe room that I think I'm thinking of.
Then there's the other thing I'm thinking of. I don't believe, I think Stags was out of 7 without the silvers. Well,
there's Triforce 4.
7 on the board, but at the same time, he'll need to go back into 7 to find the silvers.
And based on the direction Stags is going, I think he's just going to walk to Dungeon 1, get his Triforce out of there, and then probably head directly into 9 and kind of gamble that silvers might be there. From a routing point of view, it makes sense, because both of them are up in the northwest corner of the map together, and he doesn't have a good way to kind of get back to either of them right now either. Also, heads up play to realize that we're passing a potion shop and we can refill.
Nothing wrong with refilling. I mean, you've got red ring, but you know, additional safeties never hurt anybody.
So back in this level 1, I guess the Triforce was past a key door up top. Stag still just has the 1 key, and so still has key problems, even going into Dungeon 9. And I guess we never located the any key in this one.
You're right, but okay, it couldn't have been in 7. I don't believe it could have been in 8 either.
Maybe I think we saw everything out of 1, 2, 3, and 4.
We didn't see the second item in 9, however.
Oh, I bet that's it. Fortunately, Stags is up to 2 keys. He's going to have to spend 1 here, but then 2 rooms later, he's going to get a key refund before he gets the Triforce, if I recall correctly. Or maybe just 1 room in. Dark Nuts Ahoy! But it looks like we are, after a little bit of difficulty, going to be able to get an interview with Opno, our game winner. Congratulations on winning the seed, Opno. How are you feeling about that one?
Yeah, thanks. It was a nice scene for the most part, except that was it 4 or 5 wizrobe dungeons? There's a lot of wizrobes.
There sure were. You handled them very well, though. There was one just completely open room with 8 blue wizrobes that you just went to town on. It was great.
Oh yeah, the middle room in level 4.
Yes.
So, Opno, if you were to guess, what was the turning point of this seed for you?
Was either my dig of 7 or my lucky dive into level 2. Get the ladder.
You were right in 1. That dig in 7, finding the silvers, finding the power bracelet, absolutely huge, and that was the turning point.
Stags, meanwhile, has dug out all of 6 and all of another dungeon that you didn't have to finish, basically looking for those silvers. Before having done 7, he happened to find the Triforce in 7 near the beginning and decided to duck out of there and hasn't been back to finish it out yet.
Yeah. 7 is one of those dungeons you don't particularly want to dig if you can avoid it. At least this scene was a Korea set, so it wasn't that bad.
Indeed, and that was nice to see in Dungeon 9 as well, given the amount of rooms that you had to explore in that dungeon.
Yeah, good old magic staircase.
Stags looks to be into level 9 without the silvers. He's gonna get some bad news about the items there.
Yeah.
But I guess that hint about the silvers, I think, was just north of Zelda. So in the natural course of exploring Dungeon 9, unless he manages to find... Oh, that's right. He's at 0 keys right now. We had a suspicion that the any key might be the other item in 9. We believe you saw a heart container?
Yeah.
Or it could be the wand for all we know.
So with one win in the books in this best of 3, that kind of takes some pressure off for the next race. Do you think it'll change how you play at all, or will you just stick to your usual guns?
It should not change. It's not over. Even when it will be over, if I win, there's still next round and I have to play. But yeah.
Yep, there's always more opponents. We've got a deep field with a number of good players.
So game two of that series goes tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Do you have any other comments about this seed? Any other notable moments as far as you'd like to point out?
Yeah, it was nice to get a good bomb upgrade for once. So whenever I do my practice seeds, I always get +2 for more than 100 rupees. It's always disappointing, but this time was less than 100 for +6. Nice.
Yeah, that bomb upgrade, that was good value.
Yeah, it was also a huge help. It was just before the compass and level 7 as well.
Absolutely. Only problem was those door repairs. -25?
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I did manage to find them all.
Yeah, Stags had a point after purchasing the blue ring that he got through 2 of them in a row when went to Dead Mountain. That was just like, what's that? You wanted money? Nah, we're good.
Yeah, once I got the hint that the red ring was a level 1, I was not going to buy a blue ring.
Goodness. Yeah, Morgan was speaking about your combat. That was probably the biggest display of combat this season.
Oh, in that room with the red ring that had the mix of the whiz robes, and yeah, that was a good one.
I believe it was Dark Nuts, but yes, that.
Oh, I think
You don't get through Dark Nuts without good combat, and we saw it there. Dark Nuts, bunnies, yeah, everything you don't want to see in a room.
Well, despite the fact that Stags came into Dungeon 9 with 0 keys, he's up to 2, and has also managed to bomb a number of walls, and so it seems like this 9 actually was porous enough to do a lot of exploring, despite the lack of keys. Well, yeah, if you have any other things to say, you're welcome to share them, but otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and wish you good luck with the rest of your tournament matches, Opno, and thanks for coming in to talk to us.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary and thanks for the tracking and the folk behind it in the scene. Always appreciated.
Always appreciate some good races, and you sure as heck put one on display tonight. GG's Opno. Thank you for joining us.
See you.
Meanwhile, this one Guria just does not want to get killed. Stags finally has to clip in order to finish him off.
That was a bomb pack he passed up there.
This 9, as we saw from Opno, definitely had a number of staircases that kind of bounced you all around the dungeon. You had to go from here to there to everywhere. But as a result of Stag's exploration, maybe we'll find the Zenny key, or maybe we'll find Zelda and the hints about the silvers, which will kick him back out of here, and then probably in the right direction. He hears Ganon. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to bomb into the room. I guess not too interested in doing that right now. It's more focused on seeing if the silvers are right here. Are they? No, we know that they're elsewhere.
I don't believe we saw Opno go through the shoot room this way.
Yeah, I think you're right. And so there might have been kind of a bit of connectedness here that he didn't find. That might have been fewer staircases to get to all the places that you needed to go. And also, I think we maybe never saw the stair. Or I guess I was turned around, because I think we came through there. Well, Stags is down to 1 bomb now. Looks like we'll go ahead and re-clear this Stalfos room to try to go to the left. Now, he's choosing to go elsewhere.
Stag's starting to run low on keys as well. This is his last bomb.
That's a good one, though, because look at this.
Oh,
He's getting 2 bits of information. Did he see the other one?
no, well, I think he just saw it. Unfortunately, that one...
That's kind of the information that he knows now. He has to redive another dungeon, and...
Yeah, and that is going to do it. That is the DNF flag for Stags28. GG, Stags. Let's see if we can get a few words from Stags after this race.
But yeah, still did well. We talked already about how just kind of like, you know, the decision to dive 7 ended up being huge for opnopoint. That said, Stags, I guess it was later in the seed, did kind of like accidentally waste at least 1 key in some other dungeon that I don't remember right now. But yeah, keys. This was an interesting one because it wasn't quite key starved. Like, other than being turned away once in Dungeon 1, I don't know that our runners were completely like blocked out and having to double dip dungeons as a result, but the runners rarely had like more than a couple of keys to their name. And Opno ended up buying a couple too.
Absolutely. And those key purchases were pretty big. And I've just received word that Stags will be joining us shortly for an interview. Once again, for our viewers, Game 2 tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. But again, while we wait, I do want to give another shout out to Chaos Finale, our tracker here tonight. goodness. As I said before, trackers, without them, we're lost doing this.
Indeed, I completely missed the book pickup in 8, lost track of where Dungeon 6 was. It's nice to have backup.
Should have Stags in here with us shortly. That being said, we do have some more Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament action currently underway, I believe. Oregon?
I was trying to pull up the schedule too.
I believe we've got Caffey and Money Mercs on SpeedGaming Prime currently in the doing the match between number 1 seed Pedantic Potato and number 32 seed Late Bit. Game 1 of that series ongoing. But yes, what a matchup here in round 1, and game 1 did not disappoint.
Indeed, we saw some high quality play, and yeah, it is making me I don't know, eager to move on to future rounds of the tournament. Like, I can imagine, like, by the time we get down to the semifinals and the finals, like, I mean, I already knew that we had a bunch of good rookies in the seed, but as I said at the very beginning, at the top as we were doing the introductions, I haven't watched Opno run very much before, and so he really put on a display.
Both of these runners did. I've seen Stags28 during the last chance qualifier. Goodness. These they may be rookies at name, but my goodness, these runners can race. They'll give even us veterans a serious difficulties.
I know we've had some trouble getting the invites to actually allow Stags into the voice chat, but I do see him in the chat on the Twitch chat, discovering the information that the silvers were actually on 7. So yeah, opnopoint happened to do the early dig and found them before finding the compass and then the Triforce in 7, and so had the information about the silvers relatively early in the seed, and that ended up being a huge thing for the difference. Obviously, you had to do a bunch more digging toward the end there, Stags. Apart from that, the only other major stumbling point I can think of is we think possibly opnopoint also ended up with an extra key out of 7 early, and so when he reached Dungeon 1, he still had a key to finish off that dungeon, whereas you had to get turned around before you got the Triforce and go back for it later. And I think those were the two big things that ended up being kind of like differentiators in this match. Otherwise, yeah, both of you managed to get most of the hints and information, and here, we actually did get it. Stags in the booth with us. Hey.
Hello.
So yeah, from your point of view, like, we just gave you a little bit of information, but yeah, what did you feel went right or went wrong?
Well, I was shaking my head for a little bit after the death to the keys right in front of the heart. I made sure to get the heart 9 after that.
My commentator cursed you on that. I was talking, oh good, he's getting the candle out so he can fight the Keist from range when he goes to pick up the basement item, so he'll be able to stay alive, and then a moment later. So you can blame me.
No, my controller just stuck for a second, it seemed, and I was trying to turn to fire, but it just kept going.
I've absolutely been there. I know how that is. Ugh.
No, I'm glad that wasn't the turning point, though. So.
Indeed. And yeah, and for the most part, different routing will lead to different outcomes in any particular different seed. But yeah, it seemed like otherwise you were playing solid, and so, if you had chosen to go up in Dungeon 7 and found silvers before finding the Triforce, it could have been a very different outcome.
At that point I had the recorder, and so I just figured, I'm gonna keep looking for dungeons, and I can just fly right back here at any point.
Yep, made perfect sense given where you were in the race and where you were when you found it. And yeah, Opno just happened to find it earlier and happened to make a different turn at the start of the dungeon, and that can end up being the difference. Both players just making logical decisions that can work out right or work out wrong in any given day.
Well, I was plenty behind either way, I'm pretty sure. So, certainly GG's to opnopoint.
His combat really was on point, and so there probably were some rooms that he was executing faster than you were as well. But yeah, if you decide to watch it back, I think you'll discover that it was perhaps closer than it looks from your point of view right now.
Okay, well, that's certainly a plus to hear. Thank you. My combat was incredibly sloppy the entire time. Essentially, no matter what ring or not I was wearing, it seemed like everything was a face tank. So I'm going to get to practice a little bit before tomorrow's match.
All right. Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty that look forward to seeing you.
I'm looking forward to it. And thank you for being on mic and pushing the buttons and helping with the restream, everyone. I certainly appreciate it.
And we appreciate quite the race. Thank you for joining us, guys. GG's, and good luck tomorrow night in game number 2.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, Stags. And with that, Morgan, I believe it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so. As you already mentioned, there's another race that's going on right now. If people want to go check it out on SpeedGaming. And there will be a lot more races tomorrow and all the rest of the week. So just keep your eyes open on SpeedGaming and Zelda1R Randomizer and all the various channels that have been airing this tournament. And yeah, if you do !Rumble, you can get more information as well.
So, Lorgon, thank you for joining me for commentary. It's quite a pleasure working with you tonight.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And yeah, I probably won't be on comms much for the rest of the week because I got to do my own matches. But yeah, good luck to you and all the rest of the commentators. It's always fun to be able to have these to be able to watch or watch back.
Always awesome to be able to do this. Thank you again to Chaos Finale for the tracking. Thank you to the SpeedGaming Network for continuing their support and allowing us to continue restreaming the matches on their channels. And this extra special thanks to the viewers for sticking around and encouraging the runners. Without you, we don't even have a tournament. So thank you so much for watching. More Zelda1R Randomizer action currently on SpeedGaming Prime, and more action to come all throughout the week and the following weeks as we progress here in the Rookie Rumble. But for now, that is it for us. Moonrisen Phoenix here. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.